Hi, this is Amanda Elo'esh with the Goddess Emerging, and this is part two of womb wisdom. So, part one was about the why. Why would you want to connect with your womb? What's the big deal? I suggest you watch that if you haven't. And this is part two, and we're just going to dive right into a practice for connecting with your womb and seeing what it has to say. So I encourage you to enjoy this experience in a place where hopefully you can be undisturbed. Allow your phone to get turned off all the way. Allow yourself to get as comfortable as possible. And feel free to stop this recording and go deep with anything that I say. I'm going to kind of move through somewhat swiftly because each of us will take a different amount of time with each part. And so feel free to pause and then move on when you're ready. So, what we're going to do first is just get cozy. And I like to close my eyes, as you can see. And if you don't feel comfortable closing your eyes, I recommend keeping a really soft gaze right in front of you on something pleasant, maybe something that could be a meditative object for you, so that your mind can stay focused on the journey that we're taking together. So just start noticing your breath. And breathing through the nose is really, really helpful if you can. And as you're breathing in, allow the breath to get deeper and deeper into the belly. Imagine that it's going all the way down into your womb. I recommend putting your hands on over your belly where your womb is if you can. And again, for curious men who want to experience this, feel free to put your hands so that they're connecting where your womb would be and making a connection with your navel. So as you're breathing deep into the belly, all the way down, imagine filling up the womb with the breath. And going deeper even with the breath and your awareness, and imagine that there are roots that are spreading from the base of your spine, and that those roots are going down through the earth, down, 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 deep into the earth, to the womb of Mother Earth, Pachamama, connecting with that powerful, life-giving, nurturing source of sustenance. First, connecting and recognizing that everything we have, all of the food, all of the water, all of the air, all of the shelter, everything that we have as humans that keep us alive, that we have to enjoy our lives, comes from the earth. And there's no mistake, no accident that she's called Mother Earth. So imagine that your roots, as they approach the center of the earth, that they are connecting with the womb of Pachamama, Mother Earth. And then drawing up that sense of being held, and being sustained and nurtured, that immense gift of life. Draw all of that up through the roots, back up to the base of your spine, and all the way up into your womb. Feeling that energy filling you up here. Again, connecting in with the breath, deepening the breath all the way down to the womb. And then take a moment to just introduce yourself the way that you would to somebody that you want to get to know. Whatever makes sense to you, whatever works for you, just introduce yourself to your womb. It could just be quietly a conscious hello. I'm here to get to know you better. Whatever works. Take all the time you need. And now, again, placing your hands, make sure your hands are on your womb if you can. Allowing your mind to let go of a lot, as much as possible. Allowing the mind to let go of what it thinks it knows about the womb, anything that you've been taught, positive or negative. Let it all go. Imagine that you are an explorer in a brand new territory, maybe even on another planet, and that you are coming up to this big thing that is your womb. You don't know what it is. You don't know what it's there for. You don't know what's going on, but you do know that you want to understand it better. Allow your mind to be actively engaged as an explorer, as a curious witness to what it sees, to what's going to be shared. Even all of the stuff that I've shared in part one, even all the information that I gave, allow yourself to just let go of that and have your mind be as empty as possible. And asking, what wisdom do you hold for me in this moment? What message, if any, do you have for me? And give this time. It may come instantly, it may take a little while. And what comes might be surprising or might seem unusual. The communication may come in the form of an energetic experience, a physical sensation, a memory, a color, a word, an actual message. You may imagine that you're hearing something. We all experience communication from the body differently, and whatever your unique one is fine. Give yourself as much time as possible to take in everything that might be shared. And if there's nothing that comes, that's okay too. We, just like any relationship, sometimes we don't feel comfortable opening up the moment somebody introduces themselves, especially if it's somebody that we think we should know. Imagine that phone call that you get from an old high school friend that you haven't heard from forever. You might feel a little suspicious, like what's going on here? What's your agenda? It might take you a little while to open up, and our parts of our bodies, the parts especially that we've ignored or haven't really listened to that well, it might take them a while to really trust that we're genuinely here to listen and that they can trust us. It might sound strange, but it's real. And so give yourself multiple attempts. Drop into this and just say, no, I'm I'm here to listen. And allow time. Allow a trusting relationship to be built up. Because when the time is right, that communication will come. And whatever it is, even if it doesn't make sense, again, just allow your mind to accept it as truth. Don't try to figure it out in the moment. Allow that mind to just stay open and curious and receptive, engaged simply as a witness, not as a scientist, not as a figuring it out kind of thing, just receiving. And if there are any other questions that come to you, you can ask your womb. Ask those questions and see what comes. Again, taking all the time you need, and when you feel complete, remembering to say thank you. Even if there was absolute silence, saying thank you. And then coming fully back into your body again, feeling those roots, connecting with those roots, filling up all the way to the edges of your skin with your consciousness now, not just staying focused in the womb anymore. And I encourage you at this point to journal. Journal about your experience and to continue to write. There may be information that comes in the dream time. There may be information that comes later on when you're thinking about this experience. Let it continue to unfold and allow yourself more time to connect with this practice. There's one piece that I forgot to mention in part one that feels really important here. I hope I have time. And that is that you existed in the womb of your grandmother. And let me explain this. When your grandmother was conceiving your mother's body was developing. All of her eggs were being developed at that time. Every single one of her eggs were developed. And the egg that made you was inside your mother's womb when she was still in her mother's womb. And so a part of you was inside of your grandmother's womb. To me, that is so powerful to recognize. So whether you knew your grandmother or not, she held you. And any time you feel a need to connect with that wisdom, her wisdom is in there too, your mom's and your grandmother's. You have this lineage inside of you, men too. You have this lineage connected right there at your navel. A reminder, don't forget that. Allow yourself to really connect with this practice, to deepen with it, and it will nourish you so deeply, I promise. Again, if you're interested in more, thegoddessemerging.com. My name is Amanda Elo'esh. And if you're intrigued by this and any of the other practices that I'm sharing, but it's not totally clicking, it's not absolutely natural and easy, I am here to help. So please feel free to contact me. Again, Amanda Elo'esh Johnsen, thegoddessemerging.com. And become a member. It's free. There's a no spam promise. I'm not interested in selling your information to anybody. My interest is in making more joy and ecstatic life in the world. So enjoy and pass it on and let me know how it works for you. Until then, blessings.